conquering Mega Eagle.
I'm delighted to bring you one of the finest collections of scrap I think you'll ever see. We have over here a Mercedes-Benz Vito roof rack, here a genuine early 90s Honda GX 110, here a custom paint jobbed lawn bug, and here a garden tipper trailer. Let's make a dump truck. Okay, so I've got my rear axle built up. What this consists of is the diff. I put that back together with some fresh grease in there. These are the two original bearings off the mower. Yeah, they're just there to keep the diff supported, because this is a plastic diff. You know, the shafts are a bit floppy in the ends of the diff, so these bearings are here to keep that all nice, so it doesn't under chain pressure. It's got the lumps of steel on the end of the lawnmower shaft. These are welded on there, then put the whole shaft in the lathe and bored them out to 25mm to take these shafts. We're obviously in 2 pillar blocks, and then we can stick the tyres on the edge there, innit? Come, we're going to join 2 bits of metal with fire. Yeah, it's the manliest thing you could possibly do. It's the coolest thing you could possibly do. Come on.
Okay,
come on, crouch down it.
On.
Hey? Yeah, no, you need to sit down first, mate. Go on. It's okay. You just hold this. Don't press the trigger yet.
No.
Yeah? Oh, come on. Yeah? Put your hand on it.
Oh, that's cool, isn't it?
It is cool, isn't it?
Yeah. Wait, like that. Smells good.
Oh God, don't say that. Yeah?
Yeah.
You hold the whole thing? No, you can't, you've got to leave the helmet down, mate.
It's welded.
Yeah, I know, but you've got to pull the helmet down. Yeah, and put your hand around the front of it. That's it. That's it. No, you're welding, mate. You're welding. Go, pull it again. Pull it again. Hey!
I like doing it.
Yeah, everyone likes doing it. That's the thing.
I'm gonna do
Wait,
it.
don't go near them, don't, because they're really, really hot. We just melted that metal together. You know how ice cubes melt? Yeah, that's what we just did to this steel. We melted it together.
It's going on my eyebrows.
Hey? Yeah, come on. Get out of here, because it is a bit stinky. We need to get you a mask, don't we?
A different one.
No, a breathing mask.
Yeah.
A breathing mask. Okay. I've got to finish this up.
Like glow, does it?
Cool, man. A couple on this side.
Yeah?
Go on.
Do you not wait for glow up?
No. Oh, we got a gap. We got a big gap. Don't we? Oh, that's alright. Well, put that down for a second. Put that down for a second. We need to.
By it's cooling down.
Yeah. Okay, I've got some pivots on for the tipper body. One on each side. That one's done up tight. I've got to do this one up tight as well. Yeah, whatever. And the body itself has now been widened like 8 inches, and I've got a bit of fresh metal front and back to give it a bit of extra rigidity, because Obviously it's wider, it'll take more weight now, so I'm going to flip this all over and weld that onto there. I just took care of the latch for the tipper. Pretty grim. It's just a lump of bar welded onto the bottom edge. That's what latches the latchy latch there. Runs in a bit of pipe, and we've got a handle going forwards. Easily accessible for the driver. Right then, folks. My wheels finally turned up. Lovely. £10 each, these bad boys. Same size as the front, so they're identical. What I was going to do is cut the centre out, and there's a bit of a flat there. You see the flat? Yeah, maybe. And I cast up the hubs yesterday. These are just going to mate up with a flat, and then I was going to put bolts all the way through everything, have two of these mounted side by side. But these are a bit different to the ones I got on the front. The ones I got on the front are quite old wheels, and they've got a bronze bush inside them. These ones came with a bearing, which means that the tube in the middle is much bigger. Yeah, and what this meant was that I was able to find a bit of tube that fits inside nice. That's kind of a snug fit. Not quite a snug fit, but close enough for a snug fit. And then I chopped off this side, that with the outside, weld two together like this, with that bit of pipe all the way through, and then weld it onto the half axle. So it ends up fitting like this. And this axle, if you remember, just attaches with one bolt. It slides into the socket in the diff, and the bolt goes through it. So I can really take both wheels off with one bolt, but I can never separate the wheels. But it's a much simpler, more elegant, time efficient way of doing things. Unfortunately, I spent a long time casting those hubs up yesterday, but you know, shit happens. This is a cleaner, nicer, quicker way of doing it, so this is what I'm doing. Shame these wheels couldn't have come earlier, because I probably would have figured that out. Yeah. I got it all fixed, folks. It runs and dries now. It's probably the most ridiculous thing I've ever piloted. Look, here's the gear linkage. It's a bit notchy without the engine running. Goes to the torsion bar there, then another big crank to the gearbox. We've got more shenanigans going on with the clutch. The clutch is nice and heavy. That goes to a bell crank back here, and then operates that roller clutch. That's just a bunch of bearings on a bolt to act as an idler / tensioner. Then the bugger off. The brake, we've got a nice big pedal for the brake. That's on a bit of cable. That cable hasn't even got any guides on it. That just runs straight back to this bit of pipe that acts as a torsion tube onto the big plastic brake caliper there. And then throttle, I just hooked up the original throttle. This is still running on the governor. this engine, and I'll put a return spring for it up there, so you can see that. It drives as it is, obviously without the tip on the back. It's very front heavy at the minute, as I'm sure you can appreciate. I'm gonna get some paint on it, then we'll put it together and see how much dirt we can get in the back of it. I can quite honestly say this is about the most frightening thing I've ever driven. I got greedy with a short wheelbase, you know, like I wanted to go for ultimate manoeuvrability, but there's a couple of times where I've hit a hole in the ground at low speed and it's actually nosed over a bit, you know, which is frightening enough in itself. I suppose it's not going to do that with a load in the back. I had hoped to load it right up with spoils from the underground workshop, but you know, this is the area I've got to get through, so I've got to do a lot of clearing first. I think if you want to see it, you want to see it working hard with lots of mud in the back, you're going to have to just watch the next underground bunker workshop video, which is, you know, what it's for, what it's meant for in the first place. So there's a couple of bits I messed up here. Even on wet grass at the minute, where the grass is pretty dry, I mean, yeah, dry grass really, I suppose, those barrow wheels are not getting that much traction. Again, I think it'll be different when it's got a load in the back, but that wasn't a great idea, I don't think. It looks pretty cool though. It looks pretty cool. It looks like something from the 50s. Looks like something from the 50s. And as frightening as this is to drive, it's not actually as bad as an old wing dumper or whatever. I mean, them things are frightening, aren't they? I've only ever driven them when they've been badly maintained, though, I suppose. So perhaps they were lovely when they were new, like Rolls Royces. I don't know. What are the other things? The other things. This gear linkage, because there's a bit of bagginess in it, it's virtually impossible to find the right gears. So reverse is all the way forwards, and you know, third gear, top gear is all the way back, but anything in between is a bit of a guessing game, you know. And there's a couple of times where I've you know, tried aiming for neutral and got reverse instead whilst I've been travelling along at speed. So I'm probably going to destroy the little plastic gearbox or differential fairly shortly, and the sprocket on the back was plastic as well. I've enjoyed this, and I really want to do it properly, you know, like actually buy some bits specifically for it. There's some lovely tyres in there, it's all pretty cheap, but so I'm probably going to do a Mark II in a little bit. But for now, this thing works okay. I'd be lying if I said it was perfect, but you know, looks pretty cool. I like it, it's quite fun. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the build, folks, and like I say, if you want to see it in action, watch the next bunker video, and I'll make sure there's lots of footage of this thing once I've got the pathway out of onto this track cleared up a little bit. Beautiful day. Alright folks, take care, bye bye.